Hey guys, this is Tom Hanks. Welcome to the season finale of the season 1 in the Tom Hanks racing series. So today will be the final race of season 1, and it will be, well, of course, with the 6 best cars that we have. Hello, I'm KR. How are you doing? Indeed, the finale is here, and as I'm sure you're aware, your car is tied with Damara and going into this race, and so I have decided. I don't know if you're up to date with the forum post, but I've talked with people on the Discord about what we should do with regards to the cars that are tied. Also, actually, give me a moment here. And well, I'll fix something here in the background. Basically, the hello, John287. Basically, the Mara and Subaru are tied right now. If they finish like next to each other, say second and third, for example, in this race, then we will do effectively a tiebreaker between these two. On the small island mixed stage 3. Same also in case the armor manages to finish 3 places ahead of the Saishin, that would make them tied overall. So yeah, potentially we can see 2 different tracks today. The HFF Motors Pride has already won overall. I think that has been clear for a little bit, but but second and third is still not decided, and potentially fourth and fifth overall is also still up in the air. So yeah, as always, of course, I'm gonna warm up with my own car. That doesn't count towards the overall standings, of course. If my car had competed, then I don't know where it would have come overall. Probably somewhere around where the Vihur is. Maybe it would have been knocked out along with the Bakerfield, just missing out on the last round, something like that. I don't know. My car wasn't like super competitive here, but well, it did its job of being like a good car to get used to the overall pace of these cars in general. Yeah, and that's really all it needed to be anyway, to get me used to the kind of performance that the other cars are at. Yep, that corner is deceptively long and also deceptively tight, especially in this first little part right here. Then it kind of widens a little bit. This is also a second gear corner that tightens. This is also a second gear corner, or third if your car doesn't shift down. Now this right-hander coming up is also deceptively tight. Hello Adderall, and thank you. Yeah, indeed, I turned 30 today. And I don't know, the thing that like a popular question in sort of small talk conversations on your birthday is like, oh, what does it feel like to be 30 now or whatever? What does it feel like to be 1 year older? Well, generally speaking, I feel like yesterday. So, yeah, you know, for the most part, things are the same as yesterday. I was trying to be a little bit. I was trying to be a little bit too aggressive there. That was right on the edge there. I feel like yesterday for the last 10 years except back pain. Actually, speaking of back pain, it's not that like it's not that I have like chronic back pain or whatever, but I'm a bit sore in the back today from doing deadlifts in the gym yesterday. So I guess I can sort of relate. Pretty much all of the corners on this track are like super tight. And off we go. Anyway, enough for a warm-up. As is customary, we are starting in the reverse order of the current overall standings. So that means we start with the VHOR. Swimming is great for most muscle pains. Yeah, I mean, it probably is, but I've just never enjoyed swimming, you know. I don't know. This has been something. This has been a thing for me for ever since I was a child. I've never really. Not only am I not very good at swimming. I mean, I can swim, but I don't know what it is. I sort of tighten up a lot when trying to swim. So it's not like I run out of like stamina very, very quickly when swimming. I can only swim for a little bit. So clearly I'm doing something wrong, but I've never had anyone like properly teach me. And it's like I don't really feel like I'm missing out on too much, because I don't really have a place to swim anywhere near. And for the rare occasion that like every so and so many years or whatever. For the rare occasion that I do for some reason go swimming somewhere, I can swim enough for that. It's not something that I really feel like, oh, if I learned how to do it properly, I would go swimming every week or something. No, I wouldn't. So I feel like the THRS is doing well so far. I think it's faster than my car up until here. Yeah, it can't afford to cut that corner. I'm indeed from Austria, yeah? That was another screen as on the previous run, I think, but maybe we can make it up. Hang on, I'll read your comments in a second when it's a bit less busy here. I was driving through Vienna this summer. Wednesday. Oh, you were driving through Vienna, okay. Yeah, I've been to Vienna a couple of times. It's not really my favorite city though, to be honest. It's very hectic and very chaotic. It's like traffic in Vienna is an absolute nightmare. And I broke the VHOR again. To be honest with you, if you go to Vienna, like, leave your car somewhere and travel everywhere you can with public transport. It's much easier and much safer than driving by car. I know that as a car enthusiast, you don't like hearing it, but trust me, traffic in Vienna is absolutely nuts. Because it's poorly managed. Not because there's too many cars, like, I don't know, Tokyo has a lot more cars in it, although I've never been, but I can imagine that it does. But just because it's poorly managed, that's why the traffic in Vienna is just absolutely atrocious. Let's try and not break the car this time. good now. Alright, and it's actually a little bit slower than my car. 208.4. I as a visitor had problems to park under my Airbnb place because I know I was supposed to get a parking ticket. Ah, yeah. And the problem with parking outside of Vienna is with a luggage from... Yeah, that's true. Hey Tess, how are you doing? Like, if you go to Vienna, man, it's like parking in general is just an absolute catastrophe in Vienna because I would say park somewhere in Vienna, so in a multi-story park house or something, but those are really expensive. You're cold? No, I'm fine. I don't know, man. I don't really have any desire to go back to Vienna because the times, the 5 to 10 or so times that I've been, yeah, most of those times it was when I was a child and we went to the amusement park. But then later, when I was a little bit older and we didn't, I was like, well, what is it that I can do here in Vienna that I can't do back at home? You know, like this just it's just a huge city with lots and lots of people. Sure, there's a lot of like shopping streets and whatever as well, but those exist to some extent somewhere in my area as well. I don't really have relatives out there. I don't have friends out there. It's not really much for me to do in Vienna, so I don't really have a reason to go there. But of course, if you're seeing it for the first time, obviously I understand. But it's the capital of Austria, but it's not the nicest city in Austria. I'll tell you what that is once I find out, but because I haven't been to every like major city in Austria yet, but I guess that's a nice little goal for the future year or two. I guess the nicest place in Austria is probably not in one of the major cities. At least that's what I'm expecting to find. But when it comes to what's the nicest city, so far, I don't know if it's big enough to be considered a city, but my vote would go to Villach, the city that I currently work at. It's in the south of it's in the very south of Austria. It's got about 60,000 or so people. But it's... Man, what is wrong with me today? I'm going off topic with my thoughts. I'm not really fully concentrating here. Which I should be. Because this is... If the armor does really well here and beats the Zaishin by 3 places, then those two are tied and we will have a tiebreaker at Small Islands. kept tapping the handbrake to try and turn the car around here. It didn't really break loose for some reason, but there I just went into a corner too fast. That's the only reason why it understeered there. The Armor is not an understeery car most of the time. Trying to be careful there. Rocks in the inside, rocks on the outside. Me trying to thread the needle while going as fast as possible. That's proper rallying. .206.0. That's a fairly good time here. Like, honestly, I don't know what that time is worth. It's good, but how good is it? We'll have to run more cars to find out. We got 4 more left. Next is this car's arch nemesis, I guess you could say, the Seishin. So if the Seishin beats the Armor, then it's all over for the Armor's chances of getting 4th overall. There would have to be 2 cars in between the Armor and the Seishin for them to be tied overall. And that seems a little bit unlikely, but possible, you know? Okay, well, that's not how you do that one. That's better. First for this turn here. Oh, and it's a bit longer than I anticipated. Straightened out the wheels a bit too soon. I thought I'd spare you the images of disaster, so I hit the R key quickly. Again, this one wouldn't rotate on a handbrake for some reason, but did get around regardless. and that'll be a 206.4. So the armor is ahead, but there's not much of a gap between these two cars that it would be realistic for both the Mara and the Subaru to place between them. I think the Saishin's got its position secured overall. Now for the real tiebreaker though. The Subaru versus the Mara. Now the Mara did amazingly last time. Actually beating the Subaru by nearly 3 seconds on Italy. So I'm gonna go with the Subaru first, because it had the worst performance last time between these two. And then we'll go with the Mara right after. Because let's be honest, the HFF has already won overall. It literally can't lose anymore. But now it's going to be interesting who comes second overall. I'm still happy with my speedrun build. You had originally it was going to be 2 weeks, then got extended to 3 weeks of time to submit, and you sent your car in like 2 hours after the rules were announced or something like that. So I mean, I can understand like the excitement of a new challenge arising and things like that, but I could never build a car and submit it the same day if I'm competing in a challenge. Like I'm always going back to it and retesting and then maybe revising the design, tweaking, and whatever else, and then I submit. And yet I still don't do nearly as well as you in these competitions. Okay, I was just too fast there. Then again, I also don't compete in many competitions, like very rarely actually. Oh, come on, just understeer, just a little bit of understeer on exit there. Under power. And there I turned in too quickly. Come on. Like, why doesn't Beam downshift sometimes? Clearly he wanted to downshift into first there for that hairpin. Okay. The engine building hasn't changed that much with the most recent engine designer update in my experience. It has changed. But you know, the fundamentals of how you set up a sporty engine, how you set up an eco engine, things like that, all of that is still the same. It's just that things are called different things now as well, which makes it a bit confusing. And the Subaru is going to take the lead from the armor, effectively destroying its emissions to beat this or to tie the Saishin overall, because the Subaru would have had to place behind the armor and ahead of the Saishin. It is a little bit understeery. It's weird though. It turns in, like, the initial turn in is decent, not the best out of these cars, but okay. It's pretty smooth, but I feel like it's probably the power distribution. It would have to be just a bit more towards the rear, like 2 or 3% more rearwards. And then because I found that it has a slight tendency to understeer under power, and so by changing the power distribution, I think that would have fixed it. Next up is the Mara, though. So, given that this given that this car, given that this track has a lot of like first and second gear corners, very tight and winding corners, and the Mara has been exceptional at those kinds of tracks before, you would expect it to beat the Subaru here. This being said, especially in terms of the acceleration and the straight line performance, the Subaru did seem very, very strong. I think that that's where it made up the time. That's where it made up enough time to defeat the armor. The armor was clearly better for the corners, but the Subaru is just faster in a straight line. Okay, so this is the fastest split time up until here so far. Ran a bit wide there, that was my mistake, not the cars. And then I ruined it. Again, a bit late on the brakes there to take the ideal line, but .205.1. Well, bit of a dent in the driver's side door, but did beat the Subaru. I was being silent there for most of the run, and I'm sorry for that. But I guess the hey, don't give up hope yet. If the HFF now comes between the Mara and the Subaru, there's only 2 points between these two, and so as I said at the start of the stream, if that's the case, if there's only 2 points separating these two after 9 races, then we'll do the tiebreaker at Small Island Mixed Stage 3. So, what do you need to have happen now, IMKR, is the HFF to win, which it probably will. So, well, or come third, I guess, behind both of you, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Now, what happens if you finish second and third, and then we do the tiebreaker, and then the results are reversed, so you beat the Mara there? Then technically you would be tied afterwards, so no idea what happens then, but good old-fashioned quarter mile or something, I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Oh god, no, not the Italy mixed hill climb. I don't want to be here for another, 2 hours. I haven't driven Italy mixed hill climb in so long, and these cars are actually fairly... Oh, the Italy mixed circuit, okay. That's a shout. But first things first. How is this already like 4 times ahead of the Mara at the first checkpoint? I don't understand. Bit of understeer there, but still good. I think this is where the HFF is really gonna separate itself from the Mara. Not that the Mara had a bad engine or anything like that, not at all, but the power band in this thing is just much wider than anything else, it seems like. Yep, and it won again. Right, so we have the HFF doing a 204.439, taking the win yet again. Then we have the Mara in second place with a 205.158. Then we have the Subaru with a 205.919. You're welcome, MKR. Then we had the Armor with a 206.090. The Saishin did a 206.413. So this one, so the Saishin is gonna stay in fourth overall, and then the Vihur did a 208.473. Right. Now, the Mara beat the Subaru by 0.8 of a second roughly here. So that's actually a reasonable margin. Not a massive margin at over 2 minutes of runtime, but yeah. We will now go to the small island mixed stage 3, and I'll be honest, I'll do one run with my car first, just to get used to this track again, because it's been a little bit since I last drove on it. I know where it goes pretty well, but just to familiarize myself with it again. If you have some time after this race, you can check out the 1989 6K Championship on Automation Disc. So let me guess, it's a challenge where the year is 1989 and the car can only cost $6,000. So it's like ultra budget race car, if you will. Man, the frame rate here, I'm only at like 40 FPS. It's also really bright here. Like, I haven't driven on this track since the visual update, and it looks much different now. Like all of the textures and everything. I'm actually gonna turn on the shadows to partial, I guess. And I'm gonna ambient, yeah, let's turn ambient occlusion off. And let's turn down the grass density just a little bit. Like that. It's about material costs. Okay, 6,000 in material costs, not in actual retail price or approximate cost or whatever the official term is. Okay, so the breaking point is a bit later. Yeah, this is where the pretty deliberate choice on my car to with the brake balance is coming back to haunt me somewhat, because I deliberately set it up such that it likes to rotate quite a bit on the braking. And when the braking zone is as bumpy as this, you often you tend to spin, basically. Almost rolled the car there. And there. Can't be too tight on the corner exit there. There's also a dangerous kind of area here. Very bumpy. Ditch on the outside. that's not how you take that corner. But I'm not gonna reset now because it's near the end of the stage. Well, kind of near anyway. And that's a 337. When it comes to use the animation stats, they are nothing like BeamNG. You have to make cars super understeer. Yeah, indeed. Simulation means that a very dark kind beam. Yeah. Yeah. This is the main reason why I don't compete in automation forum challenges, is because I like to test drive my cars in BeamNG. Like ever since we have the opportunity to drive our own cars that we built in automation, ever since then, it's been, you know, it's been ingrained in it's been instilled in my mind that, well, if I'm gonna build a car in automation, might as well also drive it in Beam and make it as good a car to drive as I can, and that often translates to poor stats or worse than otherwise stats in automation. I think automation really requires sort of a lot of min-maxing to really have a chance to do well in a challenge. Whereas here, if you build the car for Beam, you know, obviously in a challenge like this, where I drive the cars, obviously my personal driving technique and my driving skill will affect the results to some degree. But, you know, that's a constant, right? Like my driver skill is not higher with one car than it is with another. I mean, it is definitely the case that some cars are going to suit my driver skill better than others, but I can't really do much about that, you know? I know that some people have held challenges in the past where the people that create the cars also drive them and record a lap time and then submit the run, and then they decide what car is fastest. But in that case, the results are also dependent on driver skill. So you could have a fast car in the hands of an average driver get beaten by a slower car that's in the hands of someone like IMKR. So far I haven't had any major problems with this car right here, except for some understeer there, and I guess there as well, but overall it was a fairly decent run, I'd say. This would count as a clean run, I guess. And it beats my car by 9 seconds, so yeah, not too bad. Really well done, thanks. First try, by the way, with this car. I've never driven this car on this track before, and as I said earlier, I haven't driven on this track in general in quite a while. So I'd love to see what kind of time you can get out of your car on this track, IMKR. But what counts for now is this. How good is the Mara on this track? Like what surprised me the most about the run with the Subaru is that despite its very low ride height, it didn't actually seem to be affected by the bumps that much. So that's kind of what I was worried about with it, but turns out that fear was for naught. I did cut a little bit on this corner with the Subaru, just like I did with the Mara right here. Oh, I thought it was gonna fall off there. By the way, don't be fooled here. This track is quite hard, actually. If it looks easy, trust me, it isn't. Ran wide there. Off with one wheel, but we got it back. It went too fast there. Yep, that can happen too. too far on the outside there, on the downhill. Got brought out of the rhythm through. Man, I can't really talk while driving here. It's yep. But what happened there is, yeah, surprisingly, this car is quite a bit bouncier than the Subaru. And so what happened there that I was trying to explain is I was just a bit off the actual trail to the right and hit a bump that then prevented me from braking in time. So close? That wasn't close to the finish line. Man, it's also not helping that the new texture for the, I guess, gravel on this track is often not very contrasting to the surroundings, so you often don't really see where does the beaten track end. And so you go off and hit a bump and everything gets messed up. Okay, kind of died there. Closer than other runs. Well, fair enough, but I found the Mara to be great to drive on other tracks, but here it's proving to be fairly difficult. Like like in the past, planning for some community challenges, I've been considering, or at least for a split second anyway, the idea of basically if I can't the idea of you know, a DNF on cars if they're too hard to drive. Basically with basically where every car gets a certain number of attempts, and if I can't finish, it gets a DNF. But I'm not consistent enough of a driver for that to really make sense, and I have to be honest with myself there. I remember there was one car that I did give a DNF in the Supercars challenge last year, because it simply couldn't finish that track. It like if I remember correctly, the brakes were fading like 2 laps into the race, and after that it was like completely undrivable, and you would never be able to finish a lap, let alone a full-blown race in it. So that car I did give a DNF. I remember that much, but other than that, basically going into it and saying, yeah, every car gets 3 attempts or something. If I was a better, more consistent driving, I would do that, but Too late on the brakes there. Please just lift. Thing is though, I don't wanna... What I don't want to have happen is finishing this with the Mara narrowly losing to the Subaru, and then people going, oh, but you didn't give it 100%, you lifted there and you lifted there where you didn't with the Subaru. You know, that's what I'm... That's what I'm trying to avoid here, that situation. Come on now! Alright, there we go. Went a bit wide on that corner as well in the Subaru, so... Alright, now focus. The part ahead is very bumpy. Got a little bit there. Went a little bit off course there, but we're still good. That wasn't on purpose, I swear. That was me almost losing it like 2 turns before the finish line. But it did. Whew. It did lose by nearly 5 seconds, the Mara. Boy, that slide that wasn't on purpose. Let me tell you, I almost died right there. But yeah. So this leaves us with a situation where the Mara technically won because it beat the Subaru on the official track, which was the cell tower delivery. But then the Subaru won on the mixed stage 3. So now, oh boy. Tess, you're still there? I mean, we could also just call it a draw. Drag race on Italy circuit. Because at the end of the day, sorry to tell you guys, but there's no prizes anyway. So I think like these two cars are very similar in their overall performance level, although they are very different from each other. They have very different strengths and weaknesses. And I would say that the Mara, for the most part, has been the more consistent, although the Subaru has had a victory. In fact, it's been the only car ever to beat the HFF. That was on the dirt oval. It narrowly beat the HFF there, but it beat it nonetheless. Yeah. Honestly, I'm gonna call it a draw at this point because, yeah, the Mara won on the cell tower delivery, but then the Subaru beat it on mixed stage 3. You want to see the HFF Pride? All right, one second. I'm gonna take a drink of water. All right. It's easy enough to drive here. It's not fast. Well, but you did a 3:15, which is 13 seconds faster than I just did on the Subaru. Then again, I don't know what time you would do with the Subaru, but you're just a much better driver than me. I think we've established that already. Okay, lift a little bit there, maybe. Yeah. The wheel is gonna make a difference for sure. Do you, out of curiosity, do you shift like with a manual shifter? Because these cars have a manual transmission, or do you use the shift paddles on the steering wheel? brake just a little bit too late. Okay, so each pedal and shifter. The thing for me is I've never owned like a wheel and pedals for PC, and obviously in real life I've had my driving license for I guess 12 years now, and always owned manual transmission cars, but I've never really tried learning how to do proper blips on downshifts or anything like that. I've never, like heel and toe downshifts, I've never really attempted to teach myself that. So that is something that I would have to learn if I buy myself a wheel and pedals for PC. Scary moment there. Honestly, yeah, that was not very clean either, but... Whoa. I don't know why it started fishtailing there. So yeah, this car is definitely not as hard to drive as the Mara around here. I guess the only thing that makes this scary is the speed at which it's going at times. Because you just find yourself arriving at corners at a higher speed than with the other cars, and that's what's making it scary. A 327.1. That's actually only 1.5 seconds faster than a Subaru, but it is faster. Hey, Andy D. I suggest we do a countback, and since the Subaru has one win, it's second and I'm okay. You versus me in the Subaru versus the Mara. Well, I guess if we were racing here, then that would kind of be unfair, wouldn't it? Because then you are the better driver between the two of us, and then you'll also have the car that is faster on this track. So, you know. All right, but now we have also answered one question that we weren't asking at the start of the stream, namely how fast is the HFF Pride around the mixed stage 3. Yeah, so I will now do the point for the last race. The HFF, since it won, obviously gets 18 points. And now this is where it gets iffy, because technically the Mara won on the cell tower delivery between the Subaru and the Mara. So it should normally get 16 points. However, with the tiebreaker having the order reversed, they're each gonna get 15 points. So split the difference between the usual points for second and third, respectively. And then we get we had the armor that came fourth, that got 12 points. And the Seishin got 10, and the viewer got 8. All right. All right, now, okay, let's see. All right, so good. Thank you guys for tuning in. The Mara and Subaru will be joint second overall, and I guess, yeah, if anything, then the Mara should be second because it won the official track, but yeah, it would have been only by 2 points anyway. So hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Hope you guys enjoyed the season. The next season will not be announced tomorrow. Hopefully next week. Don't know yet. Not sure, because I will upgrade my CPU next week. Hopefully it all goes smoothly. If it does, then I should have time to prepare the video by next weekend. But if not, then it'll happen the weekend after. So just so you guys are up to date with that. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one, and perhaps we can chat a bit in the meantime on my Discord. So hope to see you there, and until next time, bye bye.